So confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Why do you wear a dog collar? Well, if you're thinking I belong to somebody, that I'm somebody's slave, no, I'm not.
Can you feel life moving through your mind? Ooh, looks like they came back for more!
You can suck my loser.
They see that you're on there. These kids see that you're on there, and they're pulling the same shit again.
Okay, so...
Do you see... Is there any way you can contact Facebook and tell them to block this bullshit? I'm so sick of going over and over this shit with you.
So am I.
Then why aren't you listening to me?
I should just, you know, let everything go and just...
You're a idiot.
Okay, thank you. I'm pretty sure everybody...
You ever watched someone and wondered how they keep outdoing their own worst moment? Yeah, this guy did exactly that, over and over again. And somehow he recorded all of it.
Thank you so much.
恥ずかしいだよ。
日本語喋れるんですか？
少し。
すごい。
This is someone who turned serious situations into public embarrassment again and again, including an incident where he ended up dropping his in the DMs of a minor girl. You might remember him from his father's funeral, which he turned into an anime side quest.
You know, at his dad's funeral, above his dad's corpse, you know, with his dad's corpse in the room, he sang a anime song as his tribute to his dad.
And then held a fake funeral for a Nintendo executive on Twitch as if it were something completely normal.
Why shouldn't I believe the same in you?
This is Adam White, better known as Chibi, a speedrunner who somehow struggles at the one thing his title suggests.
This didn't happen last night, but like all of a sudden now whenever I play this game, I just get so f***ing nervous and so anxious, and
He throws around racial slurs casually.
Dude, you have rotten cookie breath.
Yeah,
I probably have more hair than you do.
I was told to help an old out, and then takes everything to a whole new level by attempting to ask a girl out, fully armed with condoms. But when trolls come knocking, he backfires by leaking his own line. Chibi doesn't just embarrass himself either. He drags his family into the spotlight too, including the time he third-wheeled his mom's date dressed head to toe in Persona 5 cosplay. All things considered, Chibi might just be one of the most embarrassing figures the speedrunning scene has ever produced, and by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why. Chibi is a 31-year-old self-described speedrunner, an emo weeb aesthetic included, but somehow every time he actually picks up a controller, the gameplay falls apart. A speedrunner is someone who finishes playing video games or parts of video games as quickly as possible, and of course, it requires considerable practice and skills to execute it, but Adam doesn't seem to be skilled enough to pull it off, because he is awfully terrible at every game.
I just want to be good at this game! All I want to do, I just want to be good at something.
However, one thing that is somehow enough to label him a speedrunner is his consistency and hyperfixation. Because hyperfixation is the most important part of speedrunning, the majority of speedrunners have hyperfixation and an obsession with repetitive video games, which makes it easier for them to finish games in one go. Many people link hyperfixation to autism, and it's something often seen in the speedrunning community. Chibi puts himself in that group, pointing to how obsessively he plays the same games on livestream as proof.
2 hours is all I can give you.
3 o'clock in the morning is not acceptable. That's too late. You're down here too long doing this crap.
But autism isn't the only thing he talks about. Over time, Adam has claimed to have many different mental health issues, often talking online about how bad his mental state is and how he's in therapy. Even so, people rarely see any real change or improvement. I was in a voice call just now and had a massive panic attack. His mental health has also caused him to lose friends, one after another, and while he often blames mental health, there's another issue that keeps coming up: jealousy. He clearly struggles when others around him start doing better than him. At one point, he even tweeted that his friend's success made him happy. I love it when my friends succeed. Go you! However, this claim looked weak because a few months back, he openly talked about the jealousy of his friends. He asked people if it was normal to feel resentment towards your friends, which was honestly a telling moment. It is really normal to feel resentment in your heart when you see a friend who is getting more successful than you. According to the Kiwi Farms thread, Chibi constantly chased attention and sympathy. He would constantly continue to rant about his depression, messed up life, and self-hatred. God, I wish I could get some sort of physical interaction. Even a hug. I don't care. This just sucks. You are nearly 30, this is pathetic, and every day I feel more and more empty inside, like living doesn't really mean anything. Not that I'm idol, but I'm swallowed by my depression and withering away. What made this even more bizarre was his hypocrisy. On one hand, Chibi publicly criticized people who use mental health or talk to manipulate others. He warned everyone not to fall for attention-seeking behavior like that. Using or mental illness as a manipulative tactic is wrong. There are plenty of people like this and want to make you feel guilty. Do not fall for this. But not long after, he posted a tweet claiming he had been admitted to a mental hospital after trying to himself. I'm going to the mental hospital too now. Because of this mindset, his friendship slowly started to fall apart. He constantly vented, talked about wanting to give up, and repeated the same problems over and over. Whenever he shared his situation in Discord, his friends would respond with one piece of advice: go talk to your therapist. I'm still too much of a coward to end my own life, but at this point, if something did kill me, like an accident or a disease, I wouldn't care. This again, go talk with your therapist, Aquana. But that still wasn't the biggest reason they cut ties. Chibi's one of the earliest videos was his Dark Moon Energy Collar video. He was 19 years old at the time he posted that video, wearing a dog collar around his neck, which of course made people curious. Everyone wanted to know why he wore something meant for an animal, but what he said in the video came off as rather ridiculous. According to him, he wore it because of the pendant that was gifted to him by his grandfather and not because he was somebody's slave. And whenever he took it off, he felt unconscious.
Now, the story behind this pendant right here, my grandfather got it for me a few years ago when we were down in Florida. I've treasured it ever since. And I realized that whenever I took this off, I felt really faint. And I usually would lose consciousness.
To make everything more comical, he claimed that it wasn't actually a dog collar, but a part of a trench coat.
Right here is not an actual collar. It is something off of a trench coat. But
this might be something petty, because Chibi's entire life is built on a bad reputation, controversies, and allegations involving minor girls. And when we speak of bad reputation, it is worth mentioning that Chibi is always down bad for girls around him. A glance, a reply, or basic politeness was often enough for him to see signals that weren't there. He'd slide into DMs uninvited, overshare personal details, and refuse to back off. But this isn't even about losing himself at the sight of girls. It is more of a concerning behavior because these girls were often minors. I know you don't respond to "Hey Gorgeous," but did you know that "Hey Gorgeous" is actually the name of the font used in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, according to posts archived on Kiwi Farms? Making eye contact with him could turn into non-stop messages. As the thread says, he will spam message, send you on guilt trips, share almost every personal detail, and stalk you till death. Honestly, the last part seems creepy and can even be illegal in most cases. Be careful being a girl and making eye contact with him, because once you do, he will latch on like a facehugger from Alien. He spam messages, guilt you, overshare personal details, and stalk you. Someone from the Kiwi Farms managed to find a disturbing detail. While being in the Osaka Con 21+ Facebook group, they came across a post exposing Chibi, and the comment under the post immediately raised red flags. Someone named Brooke claimed that Chibi had been stalking her friend Samantha and even showed up at an event just to see her. This guy stalked my best friend last year, Samantha. He asked to hang out while she was at the mall with a friend, and she said no, and then he showed up to a girl's night she was having the same day and pretended he just happened to be there. He found out where she was from her social media posts. The girls scared him off, but it's left everyone unsettled and scared of him. Then there was another incident shared on Kiwi Farms. This time it was the victim herself, named Logan Wyatt. According to her, she recognized Chibi from a video, and that dog collar was the first thing that clicked in her mind. Adam was so desperate for her that he didn't even think about her age, which was 16 at the time, and Chibi was 20. Around the year 2010, Chibi and Logan went to anime conventions together. Both of them were in relationships, but Chibi would still come after her, telling her that he regretted not giving her a chance. He would claim that his girlfriend Michaela couldn't afford to drive to see him. Michaela never talks to me, and she can't afford to drive to see me. According to Logan, Chibi often played the victim. He would throw himself into pity talks, talking about how hopeless and miserable his life was, making her feel guilty for him. But there's more to that. She claimed that when he didn't get the response he wanted, his behavior would shift in a dark way. Logan said there was a moment when she mentioned possibly traveling to Saginaw to see his girlfriend. Her own boyfriend warned her not to go alone with Chibi. When she told Chibi that her boyfriend would be coming along, Chibi went off the rails. Instead of backing off, Chibi allegedly reacted with threats. The threat made her feel scared for quite a while. She avoided being alone in public, worried that he might suddenly show up. My boyfriend said Demyx gave him bad feeling, and he wasn't keen on me being alone with him, so he said if he needed to drive almost 4 hours to see his girlfriend in Saginaw, he wouldn't let me go alone. When he didn't get his way, Demyx turned from who I thought was my friend to this shitty, hostile man. He made a threat against me, and has made my life with conventions hell since. This kind of behavior tells us a lot about who he really is. Adam White, better known as Demyx, ChibiNekoDemyx Aquana or Shiny Aquana, was born on July 2nd, 1990, making him 35 years old today. He got to a community college in 2009, and from there he developed a new identity, Emo Weeb, short for emotional weeaboo. Weebs are the non-Japanese people who are super fascinated with the Japanese culture, their anime, manga, and even video games. But sometimes their fascinations turn into a cringe-level obsession that they end up functioning like Japanese people. They adopt their way of speaking, dressing, and everything. That's exactly what happened with Chibi while he was in college. He became so absorbed in Japanese culture that he started acting like one of the weebs. He would wear dog collars, chains, and everything a solid emo weeb could wear. This strange persona didn't win him many friends. In fact, it left him with only a small circle, mostly made up of people who shared the same edgy emo vibe. One of the friends were Alan, who was known as Big Al on YouTube. Alan and Chibi were especially close. They used to make anime skits and game review videos on YouTube together.
Hello everyone, it is I, Big Al 2K6,
And I am ChibiNekoDemyx.
Now, a lot of you are probably wondering why we're doing this, since everybody and their mother has already reviewed Brawl.
During the same year, Chibi and Alan, alongside their other friends, decided to organize an anime convention, Osaka Con, at the college. But they failed terribly, and the reason was Adam himself. His friends had asked him not to tell anyone about the convention before it was finalized. They didn't want to put the convention at risk. He cosplayed as L, and tried to promote an anime convention he and his friends were organizing at their college. The video was made immediately after Chibi's friends told him not to say anything about the convention, since it wasn't set in stone yet and they didn't want to jeopardize it falling apart. They also had made licensing deals with the anime companies and everything was almost ready. But Chibi tuned out and decided to do something out of the ordinary. He filmed a promotional video for Osaka Con while cosplaying as L from Death Note. For context, Death Note is a Japanese horror animated series, and L is a character with long, messy dark hair and a shadow below both of his eyes. Chibi adopted the same attire and filmed a painfully cringe video, which is now deleted. However, a screenshot from that video still exists on the Kiwi Farms thread, and judging by that image alone, it's easy to imagine how bad the full clip must have been. As a result, people connected to the convention and its organizers were dragged into the mess. Their personal information started spreading online, and some were harassed. Others were even hit with pizza deliveries and threats. As everyone had expected, the Osaka Con eventually got cancelled, and Chibi got under scrutiny and criticism from his friends, including Alan. Alan had met Chibi sometime before Chibi's biological father's death. From the beginning, Chibi gave a lonely, sad young man vibe, which would make everyone pity him.
I would even say that there were points where I was his only friend, because everyone else gave up on him.
Alan also fell for it and thought about giving Chibi a helping hand, but that didn't turn out well for Alan himself, as he would later come forward with a bunch of exposing stories about Chibi's reality.
Anyway, the reason why I'm making this video is because Adam did an oopsie. And how much of an oopsie? Well, it was enough to get him put on full blast.
One of the most infamous moments involving Alan happened during Chibi's father's funeral in 2013. Around the same time, Alan and Chibi had parted ways, but because of Chibi's sad situation, Alan decided to reconcile with him. When he went to the funeral, Chibi's family members hugged and thanked him for being there for Chibi during his hard time.
And there's his stepmom, you know, she puts her hands on my shoulder, and she's basically telling me, you know, you're the best friend he's got. In fact, you're probably the only real friend he's got. You know, I want you to look after my boy, right? I want you to look after him. You know, I trust you. You know, you are part of this family just like he is. You know, the whole spiel, right?
But what Alan witnessed next completely changed his view. It was the Chibi's odd way of grieving for his father's passing, and the moment he saw it, Alan quickly regretted his decision to reconcile with Chibi. Chibi had connected his laptop to a projector and played an anime music video while singing along. Yes, this was his way of grieving his father's death. He had turned his father's funeral into an anime singing side quest.
Yep, he connected his laptop to the projector, and there it was, above his dad's corpse, in front of God and everybody, was a Bleach AMV. And there's Adam singing along to it in butchered, shitty Japanese above this man's poor corpse.
Alan had later claimed that Chibi's father actually wanted him to stop watching anime and playing Nintendo games. He wanted Chibi to invest himself in something productive and act like a real man. And that's how Chibi paid tribute to his father in return.
His dad is like classic, you know, blue-collar guy, right? Hates anime, hates anything different, hates anything remotely gay, right? And wants his son to be manly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, classic, archetypal, blue-collar guy.
This behavior likely became the reason behind why he continuously shuffled between different online communities. No one wanted to put up with Chibi because of his abnormal behavior, coupled with pity parties, self-hate, and disregard for his loved ones. In his own words, which were taken from an interview, Chibi wanted to force himself into anime communities, but none of his tricks worked in his favor. Instead, they backfired badly. In one of those attempts to prove himself, Chibi played Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door in the presence of a runner who watched and recorded speedrunners. Paper Mario games require skills to jump over walls, which Chibi clearly lacked, as he was not good at playing video games. However, he surprisingly made a big jump in one go, which obviously raised suspicions. Chibi also remained expressionless as he took the jump as if it were an easy thing for him.
No way.
But the runner had already understood what had happened. He called him out straight up, accusing him of cheating. Yes, Chibi had actually cheated his way to win the game and thought no one would catch him, and this one attempt reduced Chibi to a clown, losing the remaining respect from everyone. Chibi later admitted to cheating in the same interview. He claimed that he wanted to be a part of the community and win their approval. He tried to use a frame-perfect trick to play a game he was never good at. Chibi also claimed that this was the major reason why he was highly disliked in the speedrunning community.
The cheating incident, which was me trying to gain other people's approval and acceptance by forcing my way into a community and trying to be good at a game I was clearly not good at. And the Iwata funeral idea. Let's not even talk about that. That was just fucking stupid.
Chibi quickly went from being known as a cringe speedrunner to a cheating one, but that didn't bring any positive change in him at all. His pity parties, attention-seeking, and sympathy farming kept building up with time. After getting thrown out of the Paper Mario community, Chibi turned towards another community. This time it was SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom's console game. This community and game had only a few runners, and the top speedrunner for years was someone called Shift. Chibi wanted to be in the top 3 positions of this community, but instead of improving his gameplay, he tried to force his way in. Knowing he couldn't compete on skill alone, he started begging in the community's Discord. He asked people to help him with the game and constantly inserted himself into conversations.
I do like a bash, then hold down, then do 2 full jumps, then almost immediately after I do the second jump, I hold.
So I hold down while I'm doing the jumps, or do I go neutral?
The Discord group was already filled with his trolls. Therefore, whenever he spoke in the group, he would get mocked and trolled, but that didn't make Chibi give up.
I play Army Men games. Do a flip. You got this. I believe in you.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
Oh, you're playing SpongeBob. Never mind. I'm sorry. Do a sick flip by the end of 2016, and you'll get a world record.
Oh.
Do a flip.
Okay.
It'll be epic.
Please stop.
Get a world record.
Oh.
But being mocked online wasn't the most serious issue surrounding him. As discussed at the beginning of this video, Chibi liked to interact with minor girls, and it was one of those instances when Chibi got really exposed for what he was. Amy was the minor girl, probably around 17 years of age, who had sadly received the unwanted from Chibi. Chibi had been speaking to this girl for some time and then, out of nowhere, sent his to her, but it was nothing more than a trap. It had turned out that Amy wasn't actually a real girl, but Chibi's trolls. They had managed to lure him into this situation and gained access to his. They told him the truth and threatened to release these online.
It said it'll be a cold day in hell if you think I'm ever going to speak to you again, knowing what you did, which is being a 16-year-old. He claims he was just 20. He's lied about everything else. Why would he be truthful about his age at the time?
But just before they could leak them online, Chibi himself did the honor. Without any hesitation, Chibi shared his own on his Twitter account for the world to see. At the time, he appeared calm and unbothered. Warning graphic content. The trolls thinks they can use my against me. Well, I'm not about to give them that power, and I don't care who sees. However, this decision would soon have serious consequences. A YouTuber named Frank Hassel did something that completely boxed him in. For context, Frank Hassel is a famous YouTuber who makes content through bullying, harassing others, and playing psychological mind games.
I'm talking to a fellow gay guy who's not wearing a mask.
I refuse to.
Why? Oh. Where are you going?
Well, I'm gonna get out of your
Oh.
area.
He had become especially famous when he showed up at another YouTuber's house named Boogie2988, but in Chibi's case, he didn't go to his house. Frank took a different route. He called Chibi's mother and told her about her son's online behavior. He straight up told his mother that Chibi had shared his across the internet and also admitted to sending his to a 17-year-old girl, Amy.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Are you Adam's mom?
Yes, I am.
Yes, ma'am. I had some information I wanted to share you that your son has posted pictures of his online, and he admitted to sending them to a 17-year-old girl.
What?
Yes, your son Adam sent pictures of his to an underage girl, and he posted the pictures of his online.
Chibi's mother was shocked, and she immediately called out to Chibi, but Chibi denied doing any of that. Chibi's mother also asked about Amy, and how the caller Frank knew about this.
Somebody's saying you did. What's going on here? I don't know, Mother. You didn't do it? No, I did not. Well, this person's saying that you did.
During the call, she mentioned that Chibi struggled with developmental issues and didn't always make good decisions.
I want you to know something. He's got some issues. He has Asperger's autism, and sometimes he doesn't think clearly, and he makes stupid choices and stupid decisions.
But Frank wasn't done. He went on to claim that Chibi had sent deeply disturbing messages to Amy, which made the entire situation even worse. He claimed that Chibi told Amy that he wanted to have sex with men and wanted her to watch him.
And,
she said that he had some really violent, like, I don't know, fetishes and stuff. He wanted to have with men and make her watch and things like that were just very disturbing.
That's what he said to her?
Yes, ma'am.
Frank and the mother also discussed Chibi's dog collar. His mother claimed that Chibi didn't wear the collar anymore, and it was actually inspired by a game character. She called it a screwy idea and a dumb thing to do.
Why did he wear that collar? I was confused by it. Oh, okay.
Because it was a video game character, that used to dress with this long coat, wear this thing around his neck or whatever.
Oh, okay.
He just had a lot of screwy ideas.
In the end, she ended up pleading with Frank not to take any further action, and Frank ensured that he wouldn't report it to the authorities, while the mother ensured she wouldn't let it happen again. So that's the Chibi's mother for you, a woman who could resort to begging if she had to, all to save her son.
Please promise me that you won't go any further with this, because I promise you this will never ever happen again.
Yes, ma'am. I won't. Don't worry.
And please ask her, and I promise you that she will never hear from him again either.
Yes, ma'am. Don't worry.
And it won't go any
I understand your
further,
predicament.
okay?
Don't worry. Yes, ma'am.
And what did she get in return? Absolutely nothing. Instead, Chibi would openly degrade and insult her as if it were something normal. He once sent messages in a Discord group bad-mouthing her, maybe because she's just as bigoted and homophobic. Her straight to hell. He had a rude awakening on the same day. He literally couldn't survive without her. He claimed that if his mother died, he wouldn't even have a place to live, let alone having financial freedom. To cut it short, Chibi was nothing without his mother. I know. If I lose her, I don't know what I'll do, or how I'll survive. After dropping out of the community college, Chibi started living at home with his mother and stepfather. To advance his speedrunning career, he also started a partnership with Twitch in 2014, but of course he managed to ruin it all on his own. This same year, he gave the internet 2 clown moments of his life, both at the SGDQ 2014 event. SGDQ stands for Summer Games Done Quick, which is a charity marathon event for speedrunners who play games to raise money for charity. But it turned out that Chibi wasn't there to do any of that. His big plan was to chase a fellow speedrunner named Kazooie.
I have a crush on Kazooie. And I am hoping to ask her out at SGDQ on a date.
He even sent her $800 just to meet her and somehow brought to the event. Oh my god, I just checked my suitcase that I used last time. They're still there. There was a time that he stuck up for me when I told him I gave someone $800, $600 was raised, $200 was my own, to go to GDQ with me, and she went and used the money on other things. However, the plan didn't go as he had thought. Chibi knew Kazooie was at the speedrunners party. He arrived there with overflowing nervousness, and to beat it, he started drinking heavily, but it ended up causing a lot of mess. He overdrank to the point that he started doing embarrassing things. While being high, he asked his fellow speedrunners to wrestle him for Kazooie's love. Some of them even accepted the challenge because they were also after this girl. But what happened after left Chibi in a bad state. Chibi was getting tapped out again and again. And it was all for nothing. Because in the end, Kazooie didn't choose Chibi or any of the other wrestlers. She actually snuck out of the party with someone else, leaving Chibi looking like a clown. But he wasn't about to give up just yet. As a final attempt, Chibi bought an expensive gift for Kazooie and promised to give it to her during a live stream. When, of course, she showed up next to the guy she'd run off with, and Chibi once again became the internet's favorite clown. If you thought Chibi had peaked in embarrassment, think again. While being in the event, Chibi shoved himself into the GDQ couch of Tomba 2 without invitation, sitting side by side with other speedrunners, including Caveman. It is worth noting that Chibi didn't know anything about Tomba 2, yet he dared to sit there. It just so happened to be his birthday, and there was a rule letting birthday folks grab a couch, but the others had no clue what was coming. Chibi spent 20 minutes cracking cringe jokes on the mic. The people around him felt instant cringe and kept a straight face throughout the session.
I have fast pants.
We get turbo pants later.
Now you're just making me excited.
Yeah, I don't think you're ready for that.
I don't think I am.
Chibi didn't stop with it until Caveman, a speedrunner who was playing the game, interrupted him, suggesting that he be quiet.
Good joke.
So, confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Then came the chaos. After 30 minutes of silent sulking, a viewer donated a few dollars and asked that Chibi talks more.
$4.20 from 2 strains. I want to hear more of the guy in the green sweatshirt on the couch. Please let him talk more.
Hi. Nice mustache.
Thank you.
And Chibi went off the rail once again. The donor had asked Chibi to do jumping jacks, and he got up from the couch and started jumping like a 3-year-old, later slamming himself into the couch.
$5 from Diasoide. Enjoying this run, but I'll donate another $10 if Green Hoodie Guy does 10 jumping jacks.
Alright, so this is like the coolest part of the game in my opinion. Like, the time is frozen, so this is just pretty much the point of no return. Like, the first thing you see, alright, well we got this going on, first of all.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Judging from the straight faces of the fellow speedrunners, they were less than happy about it. The same speedrunner, Caveman, who told Chibi to be quiet, later shared his thoughts on Adam. He said that he wanted Chibi to be quiet because he was talking nonsense.
I told him to be quiet because he was a fucker, and I didn't ask for him to be on the couch, and he just invited himself on, and sat shoulder length to me so I couldn't move my elbows, and just would not shut the fuck up. Did anyone see him actually doing those jumping jacks? Like, Jesus Christ, at least do good, proper jumping jacks.
Another speedrunner named Witwix, who has 91,000 subscribers on YouTube, also shared his opinions on Chibi. He claimed that Chibi was following him around the event, even recounting the time he was told to be quiet.
I guess when I went to my first SGDQ with Professor Broman, Chibi followed us around a shit ton. That was actually the I'd prefer if you'd be quiet GDQ, I think. Yeah, because it was his birthday, and he wouldn't stop talking about it. But I remember he kept trying to follow us to lunch and dinner and everywhere we went. Me and Broman. And eventually I was like, dude, you gotta stop. And he was like, stop what? And I was like, ah.
This video clip, which was posted by Crowbcat on YouTube later, gained over 10 million views. PewDiePie even made a reaction video on it, which also blew up. He especially shared his opinions on the infamous clip where Chibi was told, "I'd really prefer if you would be quiet." His video received 10 million views and 22,000 comments to this day. This might be one way Chibi got so famous, but in a bad light.
That Caveman has been giving him to shut the f up.
So, confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet. But yes, you are correct.
Oh, Chibi!
$10 from Dracu.
Chibi!
And Chibi couldn't stand it. He immediately came up with a response. Chibi claimed that if he got into any trouble with the trolls, it would be PewDiePie's fault. Soon after, he started getting calls from people claiming to be PewDiePie's bros, saying they'd finished what their leader started. Naturally, Chibi panicked and tweeted about how scared he was. I just got a call on my cell phone from some anonymous number. Said he's from Pwed's army and he's watching and waiting. I knew this would happen. Years later, Chibi came out with a video explaining everything about the SGDQ event and PewDiePie's reaction. In the video, he claimed that he wasn't able to pick up social cues from the caveman and kept sitting there, then remembered the harassment that followed.
I said, hey, PewDiePie made a video about you. I'm like,
This isn't real, right? This is a joke. No, I was really mad at first. I really wanted to stand up for myself in a way, and I just kind of felt like this was unnecessary, that it would start harassment again.
At the same time, things at home weren't any better. After Chibi's biological father's death, Chibi's mother remarried another man. But that marriage didn't last, all because of Chibi and his trolls. His mother's marriage took place around the time Chibi was getting trolled endlessly. This was all thanks to the SGDQ fiasco and the "I'd really prefer if you would be quiet" video. The trolls went full chaos mode, sending pizzas, making prank calls, and basically making the house a nightmare. And who gave them all the ammo? Yep, Chibi, who had already dumped his personal info all over the internet. After receiving more than enough pizzas, Chibi's mother couldn't take it anymore. While Chibi was in a live stream, his mother showed up and scolded him. She told him that she had received pizza and bread, and that Chibi had to do something to stop it.
What?
You need to get off of it. 2 people now showed up. Passport pizza and breads. You need to shut this down. They see that you're on there. These kids see that you're on there, and they're pulling the same shit again.
She even asked Chibi to make a call to Google or Facebook so people could stop sending them pizzas. However, Chibi never cared enough to do anything and let his mother deal with it alone. But his stepfather wasn't about to let it slide easily.
There's got to be a way to get on, to call Google, Facebook, something, email them, whatever, and tell them that they put your name and phone number on there and you need somehow to block it. We're going to lose our phone number because of this.
Chibi's mother, the stepdad, also hadn't hit the breaking point. The pizza calls were driving everyone crazy except Chibi himself. No amount of scolding or pleading could get him off the internet. Instead, he shared the whole situation about his father with the Discord group. His words were, "Either you pack up and get out or cut this streaming shit out and get a real job. And my mom is upset about it." And in the end, it was Chibi's mother who paid the price. Chibi's insane behavior had pushed his mother's second marriage towards the end, which was a divorce. It wasn't his mother, it wasn't anything else that broke that marriage, but Chibi himself. In the divorce files, the Chibi's stepfather had mentioned the reason for the divorce, which was Chibi. However, that wasn't the end of it. During all of this drama, Chibi's stepdad actually suffered a heart attack and passed away. The worst part about it was that stepdad's family didn't bother to tell Chibi's family about his death for 2 months. I have something hard to say. My mom's ex-husband, the person whom she spent 23 years of her life with, he's dead. This is the same person that, because of all the trolls and bullshit my streaming career has put them through, ended up divorcing my mom. And the worst thing is, he's been dead since August. And Chibi, being Chibi with endless autism, didn't let his mother have another man in her life. Somehow Chibi didn't feel satisfied after ruining his mother's marriage, so he showed up on his mother's date. She was at a bar with her date when Chibi arrived there unannounced. And he wasn't in normal plain clothes, but in a Persona 5 cosplay. I'm in full cosplay at a bar with my mom and her date. Yes, you heard that right. He didn't think about embarrassing his mother, he just did what he was good at. And as expected, his mother didn't receive any call from her date again. This allegedly became the last time his mother even attempted to be in a relationship. Chibi had officially become the only man in her life, whether she liked it or not, and being the only man in the house didn't mean he started acting like a normal person. While he was busy streaming on Twitch as if nothing else mattered, his mother had to step in. She showed up in his room to tell him to stop playing all night.
I don't care, okay? We talked about this shit, about you being on it all night long.
I'm not being on it
I
all
don't care
night
if it's a
long.
weekend or not. It doesn't matter. Every day runs together for you.
No, actually it doesn't.
Adam?
She wanted him to get off the computer because it was 3 in the morning. However, Chibi remained unbothered about it.
3 o'clock in the morning is not acceptable. That's too late. You're down here too long doing this crap.
She even threatened to unplug his computer, but he continued to play the game.
Listen to me.
Because I have a life to live, and I'm living it.
No, I'm gonna unplug it if you get a smart mouth on you.
It didn't take long for his mother to shift the focus to his dirty room. She pointed out that his bed sheets were getting yellow because of the food, and he needed to change them.
I told you I want your sheets changed today.
They weren't dirty.
Now they're getting yellow. You got food and your sheets.
While his mother was dealing with the chaos at home, Chibi was busy online, oblivious to everything else. But his distractions didn't stop internet investigators from digging into him. Chibi had actually shared his disturbing wishes on Facebook about his preference in dating minors only. These allegations were also backed by one of Chibi's ex-friends, Fanatic Dreamer. Fanatic Dreamer joined the Kiwi Farms in 2021 and exposed Chibi from all sides. According to them, Chibi got involved with at least 7 minor girls. It started with a girl named Rachel back in 2009. She was only 14 or 15 while Chibi was 18. And Chibi? He openly bragged about dating minors on Facebook and even claimed he left Rachel for another young girl, but now I'm in the same boat. I left Rachel for another minor. His parents, especially his biological father, knew it was wrong and restricted him from seeing Rachel. He threatened to take back his car if he went to see Rachel. He discussed it on Facebook as well. My dad don't want me taking my car to see Rachel anymore. What do I do? But Chibi ignored it all and kept posting about it online. Next came Mary Jane, another minor, 15 or 16, who became the focus of Chibi's awkward obsession. Mary Jane came over today. It was fun. We had much the snuggling. According to Fanatic Dreamer, Mary wasn't actually in a relationship with Chibi, but was trying to be nice to him. He misread her kindness as interest and ended up pushing her away with his over-the-top behavior. This is for you, Mary. Wishes Mary would tell her mother about me soon. After that, Chibi went quiet for a while, but never stopped latching onto any girl who gave him attention. When his circle of friends discovered this, they started criticizing him, but Chibi didn't take it well. He shared his thoughts on Facebook, claiming that his friends weren't friends, but manipulators who were spreading rumors about him. So now I can't even take a trip out of the state to see friends of mine without people spinning bullshit rumors about me. You are not my friends, you are manipulators, and all you're doing is turning my actual friends against me. The thread also mentioned that Big Al 2006 or Alan had alleged that Chibi had a girl. When confronted, Chibi shrugged it off, saying Alan was his ex-best friend and was probably holding a grudge. Chib was actually trying to turn down every other allegation that made him look bad. We used to be best friends, hung out all the time, so of course he has dirt on me. Whatever he says about a rumor, it's bullshit. However, Fanatic Dreamer said there might be some credibility to the rumor because at the time, both the girl and Chibi's friends stopped talking to him. It was highly likely that something bad happened between Chibi and the girl. There was a girl who Chibi was seeing. We know that something happened to where she never spoke to him again. Then came a new girl in 2014 named Sarah Delian. Chibi didn't say much about her publicly, but his ex-friend managed to dig up some details. In private chats, Chibi claimed Sarah was an ex who talked to other guys too, and according to him, that was the reason things went wrong, like she would always be around other guys even though she was with me. But that story doesn't fully add up. Around the same time, Chibi posted online saying Sarah had gone missing, and that he was worried about her, so it was more likely that she simply cut contact and disappeared from his life. Sarah Dalian has gone missing, and I'm worried to death. I'm out trying to find her, but I don't know where to look. Next was Cassie, who came around in late 2015 or 2016. Once again, Chibi became heavily attached, but she didn't feel the same. In fact, she ended up leaving him because Chibi was receiving all the negative attention from the internet at the time. Dude, I think it's totally over. Cass wants to give me back the stuff I gave her. She's not even willing to give me a hug. However, Chibi wanted to save his face and claimed that she still wanted to be his friend, but it wasn't more than just a blatant lie. In one of the chats, Chibi disclosed that her new boyfriend told him to back off, and Cassie didn't even want to see Chibi's face. Oh, cool, now she's got her new boyfriend telling me to off. And it wasn't just real life situations. Trolls took advantage of Chibi's obsessive pattern too. One of them pretended to be a girl who was cosplaying from his favorite game and reached out to him. Chibi and the troll chatted for 4 whole days, and as the thread claimed, it was pure autism. Chibi unloaded his wild fantasies without hesitation while chatting with the troll. When Chibi finally realized that he had been chatting with the troll, he lost it. That's all you get for now. He ranted about it online and claimed that he was only looking for a friend. Sure, a friend with whom he could practice his fantasies. Of course I'm a pervert, but with class. Oh ho ho, I see. Hey, come on. Now you just took a bath. You want to go back and take another one. After all of this came out, and with his history involving underage girls becoming impossible to ignore, whatever friends Chibi had left finally walked away. In response, Chibi announced he was leaving the internet forever.
And I acknowledge that. It's always going to stick with me no matter what I do, where I go, where I advance in my career. And that's fine. I'm not gonna run away from it anymore. That's why I'm doing this today. I'm confronting everything.
That promise lasted about 4 months as he came back to the platform. In an attempt to make his life in streaming better, Chibi hired an online streaming coach, paying around $100 a month for a female coach to give him constructive feedback on his streams. On paper, it sounded like a good move. In reality, it quickly became another mess. The coach herself realized that it was a mistake. Chibi was probably the most annoying client she ever had. It was largely because Chibi made these sessions less about learning live streaming and more about his mental health. He would spend all of his time ranting about his poor mental health. Over time, the coach started skipping sessions and giving him less attention, but Chibi didn't get the hint. He kept paying her anyway, even during periods when he wasn't streaming at all. He talked about his experience in a paste bin. He claimed that he would text the coach, but wouldn't receive any response from her side. And when I did want to reschedule something, getting a hold of her was nigh impossible to do. I'd DM her, then not hear back for weeks, all while $100 came out of my bank account and into her pocket every month. This situation said a lot about how Chibi operated. He had a habit of turning even professional relationships into something personal, especially when a woman was involved, but somehow things still managed to get worse. The most embarrassing time of Chibi's entire life was when he held an online funeral. This moment topped everything else. It was when Chibi actually grieved the death of Nintendo's CEO, Satoru Iwata, during a livestream.
While his life may have been cut short, the legacy he left will still resonate with us for generations. And even though he was never with us when he spoke, it was clear that he was speaking not only to us, but directly.
And it wasn't just a simple funeral. Chibi had actually placed Satoru's picture in front of several Nintendo game characters. The whole funeral became even more ridiculous when Chibi started singing for Ottawa, but he couldn't care less.
Waits at every rainbow's end. Oh, I believe in roses kissed.
And the trolls were there to take full advantage. As Chibi continued to talk about how much he liked Nintendo games, the trolls made fun of him in the comments. His moderators deleted comments non-stop, and Chibi carried on like everything was completely normal. After creating a whole lot of mess, Chibi wanted to do something that could earn him respect, so he came up with the idea of hosting a speedrunning marathon. But it would later suffer the same fate as other events managed by Chibi. Chibi wanted to run the marathon on his own, but with the help of his now ex-friend Fanatic Dreamer. Fanatic Dreamer had shared all of the details about it on Kiwi Farms. Fanatic Dreamer said they didn't want to be part of it at first, but Chibi slowly talked this person into it using guilt trips. At that time, Fanatic Dreamer had connections with several big streamers and creators. He brought up the fact that at the time I knew a lot of people, and my reputation was good, so I could get people on board. I was unsure about that, but he was begging and shitting on himself for almost an hour, so I agreed. Fanatic Dreamer agreed to manage the marathon, but he had come up with a condition. He told Chibi that if he wanted to do the marathon, Chibi needed to give him the leadership. Chibi gave in and became the real face of the marathon, and Fanatic being the manager. The friend was able to get a bunch of top streamers on board, and also made a contract with Easter Seals, a non-profit organization, which gives disability services. However, Chibi once again ruined everything, just like he did with the Osaka Con in his college.
Kiwi Farms even places bets as to what he'll do next, and they are almost always right. It is a constant cycle that repeats itself. And someone on the farms, said that Adam is the Ouroboros of cringe.
Chibi decided to bring more people into the marathon without asking his friend. Of course, things went wrong fast. His friend warned him not to involve so many people, but Chibi didn't listen, so he started hiring random people to be on staff. This is where I had an issue. Originally, it was just myself, him, and like 2 other people. Fanatic Dreamer mentioned in the Kiwi Farms thread that there was one person named Princess Ku who was in the marathon without a clear reason, and Fanatic already knew the marathon would turn trash if there were more than enough people involved. One of the people on staff who was by far the most useless was Princess Ku. I cannot tell you how much this person irks me, because they are the lowest common denominator of a person. The new staff who came from Chibi's permission flipped the whole thing. They rescheduled meetings, wanted to have aimless long Discord calls, and did things their own way. Chibi's friend gave up and left the leadership role. Not surprisingly, the stream went badly. No one knew what was happening or who was in charge. At one point, someone even hacked the stream and ended up playing the Asian grandpa. According to Fanatic Dreamer, Princess Ku was mostly responsible for the whole situation. After the disaster, people tried to comfort Chibi on Discord, but he turned it into a pity party. He complained and said his life was already a mess, making himself the center of attention again.
I'm just completely broken. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't feel accepted anymore. I don't feel like I belong anywhere anymore. I just feel like I'm a complete stain on the community.
After embarrassing himself in his hometown, Chibi decided to upgrade and explore the place he always wanted to be. In 2023, Chibi started taking trips to Japan in an attempt to secure a job. Chibi wanted to be an English teacher in Japan and took several tests but kept failing, until one day he managed to pass the test and became fully confident that he could pull his job off. He started his internship in a small rural town in Japan and moved to the town. During this time, Chibi managed to create yet another legendary moment, this time on Japanese television. And of course, it was pure embarrassment. During the interview, the reporter asked why he was there. Chibi just laughed awkwardly and tried to speak in broken Japanese, not very successfully.
Thank you so much.
緊張。恥ずかしいだよ。
日本語喋れるんですか？
少し。
あ、すごい。どちらの国から来られたんですか？
カントリー。
アメリカに、アメリカから、来ました。
The most unforgettable moment? He accidentally exposed part of his butt, causing everyone in the studio to burst out laughing as he scrambled to cover himself. Honestly, that's pretty much Chibi summed up in one scene. Awkward, cringy, and somehow always finding new ways to make himself look ridiculous.
That happens so much.
Have a great day.
Bye bye.
Thank you.